November Readers Theater. We're glad to have you here. Today, our Readers Theater are performing The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. So give them a hand. I just want to point out too, the decorations behind them were done by our volunteers group who volunteered their time to help out with the holiday open house and did the decorations for us. So we're grateful to them for that. So are you guys ready?
I guess.
Everybody ready? Okay. Remember, scripts down, voices up, right? Okay, let's go ahead and do this. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every who
down in Whoville played Christmas so loud, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not.
The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason.
It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right.
It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight.
But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's.
Staring down from his cave with a sour Grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And there hanging their stockings.
He snarled with his sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow, he knew.
All the Who girls and boys would wake up bright and early, and they rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise.
That's one thing he hated.
Noise.
The noise.
Then the Who's and the board would sit down to a feast.
And they'd feast.
And they'd feast.
And they'd feast.
Feast?
Feast.
They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef.
Which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they did something he liked least of all.
Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bell ring. They stand hand in hand.
And the Who's would start singing.
They'd sing.
And they'd sing.
And they sing.
Sing?
Sing.
And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing,
The more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
then he got an awful idea.
An awful idea.
Then he got
Grinch got a wonderful
Awful idea.
I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat.
And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat.
And he chuckled and croaked. What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found.
Did that stop the old Grinch?
No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max.
Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head.
Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks
On a chickle sleigh, and he hitched up both legs.
Then the Grinch said,
Giddy up.
and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's latest news in their town.
All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air.
All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care.
When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1. The old Grinchy Claus hissed.
And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist.
Then the Grinch slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch.
But if Santa could do that,
And so could the Grinch.
He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where Little Who's stockings hung all in a row.
these stockings, he grinned,
Are the first things to go.
then he slithered and slipped with a smile most unpleasant.
Around the whole room, and he took every present.
Pop guns,
And bicycles, roller skates,
Drums,
Checkboards.
tricycles.
popcorn, and plums.
And he stuffed them in bags.
Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney.
Then he slunk into the ice bath.
He took the Who's feast. He took the Who's pudding.
He took the roast beast.
He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash.
Why the Grinchy took the last can of Who hash.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now
Grinned the Grinch.
I will stuff up the tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove.
When he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove.
He turned around fast and he saw a small Who.
Little Cindy Lou Who.
Who is not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by his tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water.
She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know that the old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie.
He thought it would Why, my sweet little tot,
The fake Santa Claus lied.
there's a light on this tree that wouldn't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there. Then I'll bring it back here. It is faithful, the child.
Then he patted her head and got her a drink, and then he sent her to bed. When Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
And the last thing he took was the log for their fire.
Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar.
On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire.
And the one speck of food left in the house was a crumb not even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to other Who's houses,
Leaving crumbs much too small for other Who's mouses.
It was quite past dawn.
Number 4.
all the Who's still bed.
All the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sled,
Packed it up with their presents.
The ribbons,
the wrappings,
The tags, and the tinsel,
the trimmings,
every Who down in Whoville, the
Nope.
tall and the small, was
Number
singing.
3. The trapping.
The trappings.
Yep.
3,000 feet up.
Number 5. Up the side of my crumpet.
Up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it.
Boo-hoo to the Who's.
He was graciously humming.
They're flying out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise
Grinned the Grinch.
that they simply must hear.
So he paused and the Grinch put his hand to his ear.
and he did hear a sound rising over the snow.
It started in low,
Then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad.
Why, this sound sounded merry.
It couldn't be so.
And it was so.
Very.
he started down at Whoville. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes.
And he shook.
What he saw was a shocking surprise.
Everybody down in the world, and tall and small, was singing.
without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas when it came.
Somehow or other, it just came the same.
And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, eyes cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbon, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags.
He puzzled 3 hours, so his puzzle was sore.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas
He thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
and what happened then?
When who will they say that the Grinch's small heart grew three sizes that day?
And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with a load through the bright morning light.
And he brought back the toys.
And the food for the feast. Indeed,
He himself
the Grinch carved the roast.
The end. I wish the Grinch would come to my house and put away all the Christmas decorations now. That would be nice. Thanks, everybody. Give them a hand again. They did a really good job. That was with one practice through the whole thing, so that they did a really, really good job. Everybody had to go to the bathroom, you see? So we did that instead. So thank you again, all of the Readers Theater troupe. Thank you for coming today and participating in the program. And thank you, parents, for coming to watch and supporting them. Watch for the video. Next week I'm on vacation, so it won't get uploaded to the site until probably the week after. But watch for the video on the main page of Kids Corner, the website for the library, okay? Thanks again. Good job, give them a hand. Yay! You guys